Welcome to Change by Design, where we remember who we were before the war told us otherwise. I am Tremont McCray. Let's get into it. You weren't made by accident. You were forged, designed, carried through fire to remember who you are. This is Change by Design, the podcast for the misfits, the builders, and the kings in hiding. I'm Tremont McCray, scroll bearer, mindset coach, and living proof that alignment is the new success. Each week, we're going to break the cycles they call normal and unlock the blueprint having worked in your DNA. Because you weren't made to fit in. You were made to rebuild the system. You are not random. You are changed by design. We're going to be dropping episodes every week, guys, on Monday to start the week off right. And if there's something that you're called and drawn to, it's time to lock in. On this week's episode, we're going to be talking about how you were designed on purpose. Why your existence is not random. If you're ready, it's time to step into the portal. Let's go. Let it go, baby. So why do you think you're here? Have you ever asked yourself that question? Have you ever sat with your thoughts long enough for your spirit to speak to you? Most of us think that we're here to accumulate money, success, to conquer, right? It's this ego mindset, especially if you're a man, this ego mindset of, I gotta have everything. I gotta own this. I gotta build this. I gotta, have the most money in my account, the most woman. But that seems like a shallow life where you only see what is in front of you with your physical eyes, but you miss everything that's beneath what you can see. You see it with your two eyes, not your third eye. And in doing so, you separate the reality from the illusion. So now you're living the illusion of what I like to call the Babylonian system. It's the three-dimensional physical plane where everything is contracts, it's taxing, it's competition, it's look that way, not within. It's a mix and redirection of truth, which is actually the opposite of what the Most High intended it to be. So if you think that's your purpose, then I'm here to tell you you're sadly mistaken. Even the whole school system, we can get into that a little deeper, but the whole school system is designed to make you into something you're not. You're just like everybody else. No, you're not. I'm going to teach you a standard curriculum and force you to sit through hours of boring and useless information so that I can program you the way I want you to be. But the Most High had a plan for that. He had me. And your spirit, which is, I like to call a flame from the eternal flame of the Most High, it always knows it's eternal fire. It may dwindle, it may fade, it may slow, but it never goes out. Even upon death, you're just reincarnating into another physical body. Now, that's not your purpose, though. The war is going to tell you the opposite of what you really need to hear. But as I ask you again, why do you think you're here? Well, you must look deeper within yourself. Since your childhood, you always had a purpose. You always had what I like to call a scroll. And most people nowadays, they're like, I gotta find my purpose. Like, no, you don't have to find your purpose. You must remember your purpose. Because the Most High gave each and every one of us a unique purpose, which in essence of itself is why we exist to begin with on this three-dimensional plane. We are meant to strike fire and remembrance of the Most High, of the truth, of the peace, heavenly frequency, love, joy, acceptance, abundance, and so forth. And we're doing that in each of our unique talents and ways. So some of us are speakers, the writers, the teachers, the gardeners, the healers, the witnesses, the builders, and any other subsection of these topics. We all have a role to play. But you have to go within yourself. So the difference between comfort and purpose, though. The war would give you comfort and call it purpose. You must ignite your original purpose and forego comfort most of the time. Even I find myself being sucked down into certain comfort loops. But through the rituals of fasting, prayer, meditation, alignment, then you can quickly and pretty much effortlessly get back on track, because it's a marathon, okay? The flame does not just ignite once. It must burn forever. So that's why you develop routines, rituals, practices, and mindset shifts that's going to keep you going throughout your whole life and living in abundance with the Most High. You can't do it just one day and be like, I'm done. No, it don't work like that, guys. But again, you must realize the difference between comfort and purpose is comfort is the ego's way of denial, running away, right? Sedating yourself from the pain of actually going out and doing your kingdom work. It's a load only you can bear. You're the flame bearer, right? It was meant for you. Whatever purpose that is calling. Your spirit is speaking to you. It's calling for you. Only you can carry this fire. The same with me. Only I can carry these blueprints of heaven on earth. I have the scroll. So comfort is to sedate, but purpose is to ignite remembrance, intention. To know that you're doing things not only for yourself, but for those who are with you and who are coming after you. For truth, for real success, which must be in alignment with the Father. This is not an accumulation. It is a remembrance, a return to the Garden of Eden. So a lot of times I might get some questions of like, how do you acknowledge your divine assignment? Well, you must acknowledge that you have a grander purpose than just going to work, getting a job, starting a business, having a family. There must be something deeper underneath that you see. Otherwise, you're still plugged into the Babylonian matrix. That's what they want you to think. That's what you're conditioned to think. But here on this podcast, Change by Design, I am inviting you to think differently. To not only think differently, but to be different. And in doing so, not only are you changing your life, but you are reconnecting with what the Most High have already written within you. That's how you acknowledge your divine assignment. Meditate. Listen to my frequency, these words, these transmissions. And ask yourself, what has my spirit been pointing me to all my life? And if you can't hear, then you need to fast. Start with cleaning your body. I have to go through several fasts. Fruit fast, juice fast, and water fast in order to stay on the frequency of purity. That might be where you have to start. But get in alignment with that, and your spirit will start to speak. And it will be as if you never forgotten. So this is a myth of figuring life out versus remembering, guys. And the figuring life out, you're only relying on your logical ego mind, which is oftentimes limited to perception, past experiences, and environment. You're not going to be able to get everything by yourself. You must draw from the strength of the Father. You must draw from the other awakened chosen ones to help you. You must draw strength from your ancestors to guide you and give you strength. So this is why you must listen and obey. Your logical mind is not even designed, and I would say it's not powerful enough consciously to just know it all. And that's by design. You must go through a process of spiritual awakening to look within yourself, to look from a position of eternal light, which is what you are. The unseen. Heaven is in the seventh dimension. Frequency is in the unseen. You cannot see it with your physical eyes, but you can feel it, and you can access it and work from this dimension, which is your sustaining. That's why they say the Father, or that's why they say with God all things are possible, because it is. You're drawing from the eternal fire. But you must listen and obey. And that means shutting out the word opinion of what you should be doing, who you should be, and not really caring. Like, you can't really care anymore. You must get to a point, whether it's now, later, in the process of this podcast and all my other teachings, stop caring of others' opinions. Especially when you realize that other people don't even know what they're doing. They don't even know who they are. Why listen to people who don't know who they are? Right? Why chase a elusive success that you never needed in the first place to validate you? The Most High created you. You're already successful. It's facts. The fact that you exist means that you're successful. You just have to have the alignment, right? And that's what I'm offering you, to get back into alignment. So no more figuring it out, guys. It is remembering. Let me be your reminder. So your intuition is the guide. It's always been your guide. And you must listen. And remember, listening is not passive. It's actually an activity. You get the message. You get the insight from the unseen. And then you move. You walk. And in your walk, which is, I like to say, a physical walk of momentum, spiritual, emotional, energetic walk of, movement towards your purpose, your goal. That is what is needed. And your intuition it's like your communications, the blueprint that the Most High already gave you. Inside of your soul is written in your DNA. It was carried by all your ancestors before you. You are the fire and it's been passed down. And no, this is not your first time here. So this is why I say you gotta look deeper, guys, because the world is not going to tell you any of this. They're going to tell you to look that way, go that way. Go grind, go hustle. For what? So you can satisfy your feelings of lack and inadequacy, and so you can finally be enough. And it just sounds so silly when I think about it now, because you are always enough. And the moment you start to live in that truth, you're going to remember more and more, not only of your power, of your worthy, of your dominion, of your life, over this life. And start tapping into just a greater awareness, peace, and wholeness. And as I said, the blueprint was written inside of you. So everyone has a map within them. But you must be courageous enough to step out of the old paradigm to access this truth. And most people don't understand you. But it's not for them to understand. This is your scroll. Your purpose. And if you're listening to this first episode, you're already in the right place. Keep going. Keep going. That's all I can say is keep going. Keep tapping into the frequency, and you will just be amazed at what's truly possible for you. And I'll say this. I'm a soul architect. So let the people of this so-called successful matrix, let them scream, look at what I've done. I will whisper, look at who I've become. Because your identity is what you've forgotten. And to reclaim your identity is to reclaim the gold that the Father implanted in you from before time. Knowing who you are is the most valuable thing on this planet. And that's what you must remember. And the blueprint is your identity. So I'm the divine architect. I have the blueprint for building heaven on earth. I'm also, as a dual role, the king quantum alchemist. Why? Because I have learned to transmute lead into gold, and character, and energy, and truth, and light. No illusions can stand beneath, around, and within my presence. Quantum, because I operate outside of time. I operate through alignment. And the speed of my awakening was prophetic. Meaning that what would have took me years, I did it in months. I did it the hard way, guys. I lost everything. I gave up everything. I basically gave it up willingly. Just to get it all back. But that's how faith works, right? You don't know what is going to come after the fact. You just know that you got to keep walking because the Father says so. So you are not your ego, which is your personality. You're something way more ancient. You're something way more, I would say, eternal. But you got to stop following society. Man, most follow society and not lead out of fear. And that fear is crippling. Most of the time, what's stopping you from, let's say, living your dream life, which is just your true identity, right? Your master timeline, is the fear, criticism, failure, of lack, of survival. But then you realize that you can't really fail unless you don't try, unless you don't execute, or you give up. Now, you can't fail. And then when you also layer on to the fact that this is your purpose, it's over. If my purpose is to speak, write, lead, teach, coach, plan, create, build, guide, ignite, you think I'm going to stop? No, not going to stop. Not going to stop. Not until the job is done. And the job not done. We're just getting started. It's episode 1. So whatever it is in your spirit, you must grab it. You must ignite it. And you must lead. Lead yourself. And lead those around you. And lead those who are coming after you, because they're coming. That's why it's called legacy. All right, guys, we're about to wrap this up, bro. So lastly, how to walk as God intended you without carrying with others think. Very simple. Check this out. You just do the work that you're called to do. And then you're going to realize that the same people who judged you, who doubted you, they're going to come seeking you. Funny how that worked, right? So don't worry about nothing but pleasing the Father, pleasing yourself, pleasing the mission. Because the angels are counting every rep. Check out my book, Heavenly Economics, guys. And that's going to free you from the mindset of lack and limitation. And it's going to help you align your new mindset with what I call the kingdom work, scroll work. Because heaven counts character as currency. It was never cash, guys. So say it with me. You are not a mistake. You are a memory waking up. It's going to feel as if you always known. You just forgot. So here's your call to action for this episode. Write 3 truths about who you already are, not who you're trying to become. And realize that who you are trying to become is who you already are. It's your higher self outpictured. Your divine self. You just have to embody that version. You just have to be that version. And you got this. You got me. So that's it for this scroll, guys. If it woke something up inside of you, sit with it. Don't rush. Don't scroll away. Let it breathe. And if you're ready to build identity from alignment, not survival, I got you. Tap in weekly. Share this with your tribe, with your family, with your friends. Because purpose isn't something you chase. It's who you already are. You're not broken. You're just changed by design. So repeat after me whenever you're ready, guys. We're going to finish this off with an affirmation. I'm not broken. I am built. I am not lost. I am aligned. I am not a mistake. I am changed by design. And as my tagline always states, guys, then you can go from lead to gold. I see you on the next one.